It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, I am Philip Simon. Blessed Monday to you.
To all of you, we hope that you had a wonderful weekend, but we do know that there are some people that did not. And of course, at this time, I want to offer my condolences to Phil, my co-host. Just teased him on Friday about his love for the Foxhill Congos in celebration of his birthday. And unfortunately, losing a cousin to violence yesterday.
Yeah, I want to say condolences to my family. I want to say condolences to Joe and Kim on the passing, the murder of Jojo yesterday. And, it's one of those things where, guys, we really need to stop this. I mean, on all sides. And, certainly a lot can be said, but it's an ongoing thing. And, I was in Cat Island as well on Friday, speaking to the students down there. Had a really good time, Godfrey. And, I'm just sharing a little bit, with the high schoolers there, and I'm like, I'm a Foxhill boy, and I'm like, how many of you know Foxhill? And, you raise their hand. I'm like, when you think about Foxhill, what do you think about? Well, jail, crime, and one person said murder, and I'm like, I'm like, listen, next time you think about Foxhill, you think about me.
Right.
And, you think about all of those wonderful people that we have down there. And I really believe this is not who we are. And I'm going to encourage, those families, our families down there, to really take control of the situation. Take control of the situation. And, hopefully, for those future generations to come, change will occur.
Yeah.
So again, condolences to the Thompson family, my family, and hey, it's a new day.
It's a new day.
Yeah.
It is indeed. And I think a part of it, and Phil, you were such a wonderful example of that, is that you take action to be an example and to be a change and to take things like junior achievement as a way to get into our community. So really want to encourage those of you that were as disturbed by the news as I was to figure out how you can help. We can only begin to be a difference when we start to make the difference in our own lives and when we try to make that difference in other people's lives.
Yeah.
So whatever way it is that you can help a program, whether it's through time or money or effort, whatever it is, please just do your part.
Yeah, just make a difference where you're at. But, today is also a celebratory day. We have the National Spelling Bee champions here. Got to meet a couple of them this morning. Now that right there is way out of my league.
Yeah, though, there's some brilliant young people in the studio today. Looking forward to that conversation with them.
Absolutely. We also have, we're going to be talking about the EU blacklisting, and of course we're off of the list. We have some industry professionals we're going to be talking with today. One of the first questions I'm going to ask is, why has this always got to be a black list? Is there a white list? I mean,
No,
anyway, that's
another conversation for another day.
And of course, in the legal aid segment, we're going to continue that conversation with Merritt.
All of that sounds exciting. We're very happy. We've got the dentist in the house today as well, right?
Yeah, Dr. Francis and Dr. Crawford. I think it's World Oral Health Day on the 20th,
Okay.
which will be Wednesday, so we're going to be talking a little bit about that.
We'll talk
with
about
the
that.
doctors.
We'll talk about that this morning. Very important stuff happening with your mouth, and you'd be surprised how it's all connected to some other things. So that's going to be a good conversation. Yeah, really good conversation. In addition to that, Atlantic Medical is back again, guys. Fun run walk time. I hope that you guys were able to make it out to the Kidney Center walk this past weekend. But if you did not, now's the time to get your running shoes, your walking shoes ready for the fun run walk with Atlantic Medical. And in addition to that, it is World Forestry Week coming up. So we're going to be talking more about that. We've been having the forestry unit on every year around this time. And they're really doing a lot of good work. So we're going to talk with them this morning as well. And Godfrey says there might be some showers in store for us this week. So for those of you that are, planters and looking at getting those grasses ready after the winter season, this could be good news. You don't like rain like me? We'll pray on it. But you do need it. So Godfrey's going to tell us more. Here he is with our first look at weather.
Weather at sunrise. Brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star. Good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather at sunrise, we have a formal boundary across the Berry Islands, South Abaco, and North Andros this morning. Some showers behind that system over the Grand Bahama area, the Berry Islands. And we expect to form off that cold front an area of low pressure around Key West, Florida, and northern Andros late tonight, early tomorrow morning. It will move northeastwards across the islands, and that should cause some increasing cloudiness, showers, and possible thunderstorms over the next 48 hours. In your weather today, we look at a mix of sun and clouds with a few showers, mainly across the northwest Bahamas, high temperature reaching about 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, we're looking at partly cloudy, a bit breezy, with a few showers, even a possible thunderstorms. The low temperature going down to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. As the region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 82 and 75. In Jamaica, 78 and 66. In Trinidad, 87 and 74. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 81 and 69. Across North America, Atlanta, 56 and 38. In Raleigh, 53 and 35. In Miami, 79 and 67. Dallas, Texas, 62 and 45. And Toronto, Canada, 34 and 23. Starting late tonight through Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, showers, and thunderstorms. Those showers becoming heavier times, and we expect the winds to start picking up late tonight, and expect those windy conditions through Wednesday. We expect improvement by late Thursday into Friday. Great weekends to weather-wise, so temperature through the first into Thursday will be in the upper 70s daytime, and the mid 60s at nighttime. And for the weekend, we're going into around the 80-degree mark at daytime, upper 60s at nighttime. That puts you up in your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Star.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you so much for that update, Godfrey. Certainly the rain and showers this week will help with our forest, and that is a good thing because we're talking about Forestry Week. World Forestry Day happens annually on March 21st, and this time, the Forestry Unit of the Ministry of the Environment is planning an entire week of activities. Happy to welcome back to the show today Christopher Russell. He's the director of the Forestry Unit, and he's got Ingeria Miller with him. She's the forest officer for the Forestry Unit. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning.
Always a pleasure to have you guys with us. Whenever I see you, I know it's time for us to talk about the trees.
That's
right. And I'm not a tree hugger, but I do believe that they serve their purpose, and it's something that we've got to discuss and make more well known. So this week, what is the importance of World Forestry Day and Forestry Week in particular?
Well, let me get the ball going. Well, you know, forests are very important for the world. They're the lungs of the earth. Without trees and forests, we have no oxygen.
Yeah.
Yes? And so the theme this year is forests and education. Very timely. You know, the world is impacted by climate change, global warming, and trees play a very important role in mitigating the impacts of global warming. And so we want to make sure that we are able to educate our people as to the importance of our forests and maintaining our forest cover. And so education is very timely for this theme this year.
Yeah, and you guys are doing, like, what I like about you guys, and I took out my Forestry Unit bag the other day to the beach, so I'm still rocking it. But you always do something new, and this year, your list of activities is quite extensive, and you even have something called a selfie competition. So talk to me kind of about the activities you've got, including the selfie competition, your round table, the tree planting. Tell me more about it.
This year, as you know, we like to keep it fresh. We like to keep it exciting. One of the global things that they do during Forestry Month or Forestry Day is that they plant trees. So this year we'll have our exhibition at the mall. We'll have tree giveaways every hour. So we'll ask you a nice simple question about trees. And if you win, then you can get a native tree.
Okay.
We have our selfie competition. So this is basically to get the school children involved, high school, primary school, preschoolers. They take a picture of their favorite tree and they tell us why they like that tree.
Okay.
Okay, and that's always gotten a lot of support
Okay.
from the educational community. We also do a lot of school visits because once again, the theme this year is forest and education.
Right.
We have to get the message out there. We call it the forestry gospel. We have to get that out there, especially for our public. That's why we go to someplace like the mall that is very populous. Hey, come in, learn about trees. We give you a brochure. You can see in all of our nice pine crafts. And then the event that we're most excited about this year is that we're doing a science teachers retreat on Exuma.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so this is going to fall slightly outside of the week, but still a part of this whole theme of forest and education. We'll take them to Exuma at the One Exuma Foundation.
Okay.
You'll spend 3 days there. They will be immersed in the forest, nature trails, the whole 9 yards, even bush tea.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah, no, that does sound exciting. Whenever Phil's not here, my co-host is Mark. And Mark is a bushman, right?
I know.
So he would have been very excited to be here this morning and hear that. But it's good news. And it's so important that we learn about the native things that we have in our environment, because so many of these things can be natural healers and so many other things as you move on. So are you partnering with any other agencies to get the word out about forestry?
Definitely. So we're partnering always. The Bahamas National Trust. Friends of the Environment has always been an awesome partner. This year, I think we're most excited about this partnership with the Bahamas Association of Science Educators. Hey, President Hepburn. And Dr. Micklewhite. So they have a very enthusiastic and energetic group of science teachers, mostly high school teachers, who will be helping us with putting on this workshop in Exuma.
All right. Now, there are some people that might want to find out more information about this, maybe how they can get involved with the selfie competition, where exactly you'll be at the mall. If people just wanted to find out more in general, how could they reach you at the forestry unit?
Well, we have a website.
Okay.
Yes.
Fancy.
Okay.
We are on Instagram. Bahamas Forestry is our Facebook page.
Okay.
What else do we have?
Just come to the mall. Look for our booth.
Which day and time is the mall event?
Monday to Friday, 3 to 7.
Okay, so you guys are here all week.
Yes,
So we have
ma'am.
no excuses. We
No
can go in there and get
excuse.
those
That's
trees.
right.
Okay,
That's
sounds like a plan. The 10,000 tree campaign, you guys had talked to us about it last year. How's it been going? Or where are you with that now?
A year ago, we met our mark of 10,000 trees, and we were honored by the ENO, which is an environmental agency based in Europe.
Okay.
And they came down and presented with a certificate. So we met the 10,000 trees. We're actually expanding it this year to do it again.
Okay.
So we're on our way again to try to plant 10,000 native trees.
That's exciting
Yes.
stuff, man. And I'm happy to hear that. So congratulations to you on that. And then the School 365 education program. Talk to me about that, because that sounds exciting. Is this a part of the science teachers thing, or is this something different?
So we introduced this, I think, last year. It's essentially you're going into the schools. We want the public to know that the emphasis is on education year-round, hence School 365. Preschool, primary school, high school. We're there. We do assemblies. We do classroom visits. We help you with curriculum development. We try to just inject forestry into that curriculum wherever we can.
Okay.
And so that's one of the activities that we're most excited about, as well as the Exuma Teachers Retreat. What else can I say about that?
No,
I mean,
I-
essentially we love it.
Yeah, no, and you can tell, right? And so, Chris, I'm going to give you just a final word here, if there's any words that you want to leave with us as we wrap up talking about Forestry Week, because you can tell you guys love it, and you're trying to spread that to the students and taking these teachers out there. Any words for us as you go?
What I'm excited about is that we are actually at the University of the Bahamas in terms of a roundtable discussion.
Okay.
That's critical because we want to get the university on board as to what it is we're doing, what is forest all about, how we can connect forest to education. And that's the perfect place to begin.
Okay.
And so I'm excited about that. And also to say to Bahamians, we have to preserve our environment. We have to protect our tree cover. Okay, the Bahamas has been identified as a country with a high forest cover, low deforestation rate by the FAO.
Excellent.
And that's important. And I am here to say that and to promote that for the country.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you both so much for joining us this morning, reminding us about the things that we take for granted, right? Our ability to breathe and to be able to do that easily, because we are one of those nations that you would have mentioned
right.
with a great forestry cover. So thank you for the work that you're doing, and thank you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having us.
It's always good to
Appreciate
be here.
Always a pleasure to have you. Listen, happy Forestry Week to all of you. Remember, as you drive past, to take care of those trees that you see around. You can join this group in the mall if you're in New Providence all this week, Monday to Friday from 3 to 7. Get one of those native trees, and if you grow some guava, call your girl. We're going to be right back after this commercial break.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want First Response on your side, call 32 First or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
Wait, that's Omar Little from The Wire. You think everyone is Omar from The Wire?
Wow, it's really nice to meet a fan.
It's like he's right here.
I telling you he's been in all type of shows and stuff?
And you know, Rev Go Play plays a lot of good movies and TV shows.
Excuse me, can't you see we're watching something else?
Rude.
Settle all your pop culture disputes with RevGo Play. Watch, record, and stream all your favorite shows wherever you are. Free for all Rev TV subscribers. Rev, you and us together.
I'm Jennifer Baston, Group Sales and Marketing Manager for Bahamas Air, and it's my pleasure to invite you to experience Houston. From out-of-the-world excitement at Space Center's Houston, the gateway to NASA's mission control, to the over 10,000 restaurants representing cuisine from more than 70 countries. Houston has it all. Come, experience Houston with direct service on Bahamas Air. For more information on flight and packages, visit bahamasair.com.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Of course, the talk has always been financial services. Given the importance that it has in our economy, we're very pleased to be joined this morning by LaTonya Simona-Tinker, Managing Director of the Bayshore Group and a permanent representative to the Bahamas Financial Services Board, BFSB, to kind of share a little bit with us with regards to the recent blacklisting and then the removal from the list. LaTonya, welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, pleased to have you. You are a compliance specialist, of course. Well, let's talk a little bit about what it means to be a compliance specialist, the work that goes into adapting, adjusting, and to adhering to all of these regulations that seemingly are new every year.
All right, well, compliance is a very important topic right now around the world globally because of all of the regulatory changes internationally, all these international standard setting. And the Bahamas has been one of the countries that has been at the forefront of compliance in that we have a very active body through BACO. We engage in a lot of discussions and training. The regulators make that mandatory. So we have a regime here that is almost second to none, particularly in the region. In doing compliance, what you're doing is making sure that you're with whatever organization or company that you represent. You're ensuring that they are adhering to those standards, with which they have a regulatory connection. So, for example, with Securities Commission, if you're under the Investment Funds Act, Central Bank, the Central Bank Act, et cetera, to ensure that within those ambits you're doing what you're supposed to do based on the rules and regulations.
So when we on a national level, and in particularly as it relates to the European Union, when they say that a country has been blacklisted, what exactly does that mean to them, and what does that mean to us?
Well, to them it means they're punishing us for not doing something that they want us to do. For us it means that we're going to suffer great loss of business, revenue, economic harm, reputational damage, something that's very hard to come back from. So in essence, it's a strong arm because we have to do what they're asking us to do in order to survive. And as we know, the goalpost continues to move. Once we've reached one stair, because I'll use that analogy, it's like an escalator. It keeps moving up. So we have to keep stepping in order to meet whatever regulatory requirements that they want us to.
Well, I mean, I don't want to cry over spilled milk because it seems as though they just have so much influence, not just over our economy, but the world economies. Yes. Okay, fine. So let's talk a little bit about the BFSB and, of course, other organizations in the financial services industry, how they work with the government to implement all of these changes. Of course, changes in legislation, changes in policies, et cetera, that are required to avoid the blacklist or to remove us from the blacklist? How do you work together with it?
Well, the government of the Bahamas, and I've been working with the government for almost 6 years now, has had a very, very close working relationship with Bahamas Financial Services Board, as well as other organizations within the Bahamas when it comes to partnering to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. So whenever you see us implementing standards, changes in regulatory, the regulatory regime, it's always in concert with industry. And that's one thing that we've been able to boast, that the Bahamas really works closely with the financial services industry. It is our second industry, and it's a very important thing that we need to do in order to make sure the players want to come, that they want to stay, and that they also want to grow their businesses here. That's been a very important factor.
Is the industry worried about these changing goalposts that you're saying? Standards really should not be adjusted so often, but is there a concern within the industry that we're just never going to catch up? That we're always going to be in this state of constant anxiety relative to the international financial services market?
There's always that worry. However, we're not alone. It's not as though this is only akin to the Bahamas. This is a global thing, albeit smaller states have to do more, or seemingly so. So there's always this unfair addition to this whole regime of new regulation and regulatory regimes, new standards, new goal setting, where it never ends. What is low taxation? Why is it harmful? Why can't a country set its own standards based on its own economy, its own needs of its people? Because we know in the Bahamas that we have this GDP that's not necessarily a true GDP, because there's such a disparage between poor and rich. And so you can say on average it's a $15,000 annual salary, but who does that really apply to? And so when you say we must continue to tax our people, bring our taxation up because it shouldn't be low, we're really hurting ourselves a little bit more. And so we have to be very careful when we simply just implement these things and make sure it actually fits.
One final question in terms of, you're right in the middle of it, obviously, as MD of Bayshore, but what is the feeling in the environment of the financial services industry? Are we growing? Are we just holding on? Obviously there's room for improvement, but there's just a vast opportunity out there, I would imagine, for growth.
I think we're growing. Well, there's always also been some loss of business, so there is a fine balance as well. But now we have new opportunities. We have new opportunities in innovation. We have new opportunities in now boasting our country as a very clean and compliant jurisdiction. The government of the Bahamas has made sure that they've stuck to that sort of mantra. But BFSB with Tanya McCartney as well. That's the message that is being sent out worldwide. We're doing this. We are a leader in financial services. The Bahamas has been doing this for over 80 years. So we want to set the pace, not be the followers, not be the ones to catch up now. So the financial services industry is now being brought to the sense that, okay, we didn't die through all of this. So what's the next step? We have to now concentrate on innovation, making sure the human resources are adequate to meet the new and growing needs of the financial services industry. And we really need to put more resources behind product innovation and services and really giving it the best foot forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to go back and get what is ours, right?
Exactly.
LaTonya, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
LaTonya Simonet-Tinker, Managing Director of the Bayshore Group, Permanent Representative to the Bahamas Financial Services Board, doing a great work.
Thank you.
Watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
WTO membership will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
I always wanted to come back to the College of Bahamas. I wanted to be a faculty. When the opportunity came for me to be Vice President of Operations, I said, well, let me try that first. It makes me proud because I was here before. I feel as if now I'm sort of like a beacon for those students who are here to say, hey, listen, I can actually be a Vice President. I can actually be one of the big leaders at the university. I'm Ronnie Stevenson, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs. I'm Jennifer Baston, Group Sales and Marketing Manager for Bahamas Air, and it's my pleasure to invite you to experience Houston. From out-of-the-world excitement at Space Center's Houston, the gateway to NASA's mission control, to the over 10,000 restaurants representing cuisine from more than 70 countries. Houston has it all. Come, experience Houston with direct service on Bahamas Air. For more information on flight and packages, visit bahamasair.com.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. I am just smiling from ear to ear because I have got the brilliant minds in the country sitting in front of me. 3 outstanding young men, so excited to say that, who are just on an amazing trajectory. I'm talking to the winners of our National Spelling Bee. We've got first, second, and third here. And we've also got someone here from the Ministry of Education and the coach of the winner this morning. So happy to welcome, and I want to get this right. I've been practicing this, so I hope I get it right. If he can spell big words, I can pronounce a big name. His name is Roy Siegelman. I messed it up. Seligman. Roy Seligman. I got it right. Okay. Roy Seligman, and he's the first place winner. He's from Lyford Key Schools. He's joined by his coach, Katina Seymour, and she's in administration there at Lyford Key School and also the coach of the Spelling Bee program. Patronella Roll, who's the Assistant Director in Education for Student Services, is also here with us. And we've got our second and third place winners. Kevin Williams goes to Yellow Elder Primary, and Arjwan Shetty goes to Queens College. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. Good morning. A pleasure to have you guys with us. Roy, you and I were just talking before we started, and he wants to get into artificial intelligence. He's 10 years old, in the 4th grade, and now you are the winner of the National Spelling Bee. How does that feel?
It feels good.
It feels really good? Mm-hmm. How long did it take to practice to become a winner of a spelling bee?
A lot. I practiced 2 to 3 hours every day.
2 to 3 hours every day? Okay. So I want you to speak up as if you're spelling on the stage,
okay,
so that everybody can hear you. So 2 to 3 hours every single day?
Yes.
Wow. And as his coach, that means that you're putting in that time too.
Yes, that means I'm putting in the time as well, but it's great. It's a great time of interaction, a great time of inspiration, and a great time of risk-taking, I would say, because while he's learning, I'm also learning some of those words as well that I like. There's so many eons ago I've been doing this in terms of when I was in the spelling bee as well.
Wow.
So he's bringing back very fond memories for me as well as I coach him and get him ready for the next step.
Next step,
Yes.
and the next step is Washington, D.C. That's a big deal. Have you been to Washington, D.C. before?
No, I haven't.
So you're very excited to go, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And this year, we're actually allowing 2 people to go to the spelling bee. This is the first time this has happened. What is the difference in the programming here?
Well, over the years, we had 3 persons attending Washington, but one person appeared on stage and represented the country.
Right.
Scribs last year introduced a new program called the RSVB.
Okay.
And that allowed more than one person from a region to represent their country.
Wow.
And so this year we are so happy that Kevin will be representing the country along with Roy. And we had already registered Mr. Shetty as well to see if he will be able to represent the country. And so we may have 3 persons representing the country this year.
That's very exciting. And I'm hoping, Mr. Shetty, that it comes through because you look like a man that's ready to go up there and spell as well. How does this feel for you, Kevin, knowing that you're going to Washington and to spell? Are you excited about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How much hours did you practice for the spelling bee?
2 hours for the last 5 months.
2 hours for the last 5 months. That's a lot of time that you dedicate to spelling. Are you able to get your other homework done?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
spell? Okay. Now, I had a chance to talk to Roy before we got started about what he wants to be. What do you want to do when you grow up?
I actually want to be a pilot.
Okay, you want to be a pilot. So why do you think it's important to learn to spell all of these words?
Well, I think it's important because When I love to read, so learning more words makes the story more elaborate, and it makes it more lively.
That's so cool. Like, I'm so impressed by you guys. I did the spelling bee competition in the 5th grade. I got knocked out in round 3. So you guys amaze me. Arjuan, for you, what has the competition been like?
The competition has been really fun. I got to meet a bunch of new people. I got to increase my vocabulary. And I'm looking forward to at least going to Washington, D.C.
What are you most excited about seeing in Washington?
The different historical monuments over there and the Smithsonian Museum.
Yeah, I had the chance to live in D.C. for 3 months when I was in college, and it was so cool. There's so many museums and so many things to do and see. What's the hardest word you've ever had to spell?
Like ever?
Ever.
Bewusstseinsschlager.
Oh my goodness. What does that even mean? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think it means, in a state of lethargy, they like not wanting to do something very lazy.
A state of mind?
Yeah.
I didn't know that word.
You know that word? What does it mean?
Well, it's like a state of consciousness in your mind. I forgot the whole definition, but
So I think we got a combination
spell it
definition.
on TV.
But you know how to spell it? You want to spell it for me right now?
I think it's spelled BEWUSSTSCINSLAGE.
That's it. So we're well on the way. So you've prepped up to this point. What is the next steps of preparation for him going to Washington, D.C.?
So we continue with our early morning trainings and our afternoon trainings, and I'm not alone, thankfully, because I could not do this job alone. I have Roy's mom, Miss Nuala Seligman, with me. She's very, very, she's been a blessing, if I could say that in a word. So she and I partner together with him, so I get the ball rolling in the morning. I send her home the instructions in terms of where to continue. And one of the things that we are very mindful of, Star, is the fact that he is still a child. Right. And we say that even though this is rigorous competition, even though this is a big stage that we're going on, we want to maintain his childhood, and we also want to maintain or help to encourage his love for learning. Right. So if he's continuing those two things while we are still going the extra mile and putting in the extra work, then I feel like we're doing a good job, because at the end of the day, he's a child. We want to maintain that, and of course I want his love for learning, and that seems to be what we've garnered over the last 5 months we've been working together. So now he's driving the process. So when I say 2 hours, he said, I can go another half an hour, I can go another hour, and that's what I want out of this process at the end of the day. So we're going to continue with our rigorous training, but we want the love for learning to remain as well.
All right, and Kevin, for you, are you doing anything extra to get ready for the competition?
Actually, we haven't got the words yet.
Okay.
So
you wait until those words come in, and then
yes,
you start. And you go back to two hours each day.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Roy, any final words you want to share with everybody about being a winner and being excited about Washington?
Well, for practicing, I'm just studying the root words right now.
Okay.
And the list come out on April 10th, I think.
Okay. And then you go even harder into more studying and training.
In the meantime, Miriam Webster, we say, is our new friend. She's been our new friend for a couple of months now. So she and I, we have a really great relationship going on. Yeah. So we're working the dictionary, believe it or not. Yeah. So that's what we do until Scripps finalize their listing and send it us to us.
When does the actual competition take place?
It begins on May 27th.
Okay.
But to add to what Ms. Seymour said, we are asking anyone who is very good in the languages, they can give us their time, and they can really help our students so that they will be able to learn the languages.
Okay.
So even on a Saturday or maybe on a weekday, anyone with Greek, Latin, Spanish, French, whatever, they can call into the Ministry of Education, and we can set up the time for them to help our students.
Excellent.
Okay?
Well, listen, I want to thank you guys so much for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. I am so happy to have met you. Only great things happen when you come on Bahamas at Sunrise. So I believe that the winner is sitting right here on this stage for the Scripps International Spelling Bee, really what it is. And I'm trusting that the future will be bright for all of you. Thank you all so much for joining us for the work that you're doing with our students. And remember that you can help. You can help to actually make this dream possible for us as a nation. 2 people going to the competition, hopefully 3, and you can do that by contributing at the Ministry of Education. Just give them a call if you know those languages. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Ladies,
This is Sharika Brown, and I'm here to extend a special invitation to you to attend our upcoming Women's Empowerment Conference, Leading in Stilettos 2019, under the theme, The Power of Your Femininity. Listen to me. We have so many exciting things that we will be talking about and a host of activities that will take place at this event. We have some dynamic speakers and some awesome panelists. This event is going to be held on Saturday, March 30th from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Atlantis Resort. To get your tickets, please call our office at 828-7907. Also, you can email us at successinpurpose@gmail.com.
WTO memberships will bring benefits to the Bahamas. These benefits include increased economic growth and development, increased opportunities for Bahamian exports, higher employment, better income for Bahamian workers, lower cost of living for Bahamian consumers, increased choices for Bahamian consumers, modernization in government services, and better relations with trade partners. These benefits, combined with progressive planning and execution by our private and public sectors, will produce a better life for Bahamians.
My name is Regilio Bethel. My position on board Equinox is mate, relief captain. I must say that during our travels and journeys throughout the Exuma Keys, we've had a few dark or dead spots. Basically, there was no service. They were just dark spots. We would basically be dead ship out in the cold without any communication. And it's been like that for years, and we've gotten used to it. But life has now provided us with a service which we can stay communicated during our entire voyages. And I've been waiting for Live to bring their service up to more coverage throughout the Bahamas, which they've done in an amazing amount of time. So yeah, I would encourage them all to get that service. It's an awesome service, no interruptions, and it's awesome.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you've enjoyed the first part of the show. We're going to continue on now with the second half of the show.
Yeah, you're beaming, Star.
I am so happy. I am so,
beaming.
listen, you all know all you have to do to make me like extra happy is to bring young people on and to see those students only in primary school, but so committed and dedicated to work, right? And to having this excellent work ethic, knowing these huge words, and for them to be all young men at that.
Exactly, was just pointing that out, man. I mean, they looked a little, actually looked a little bit nervous, but what was that word?
I don't know, Phil. You keep asking me. I told you I don't remember it, okay? It was a big and heavy word. Fourth graders know it. I don't. It's fine. Because that's why they're special, okay?
Very special.
But no, they are just so phenomenal. So proud. And then you know what I love about it? I think it's a perfect snapshot of our nation. And so we've got 3 different ethnicities represented, but all just working together for the love of something. And so it just,
and
it's such a beautiful
you got
picture.
to point out the support too. You know, Ministry of Education is doing their thing. Obviously, the coach of the winning student. I mean, obviously, you can see the passion that she shares for what it is. So listen, all around, listen, there's so many good things that are happening.
Can I share one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
All of their fathers were upstairs with them.
Oh, yeah?
Bless my heart.
Well, I'm shaking your hands, fellas. So the fathers came.
All the fathers were up there with them, yeah.
Okay, all right. No wonder you're beaming. Okay, listen,
I'm just
we've got more to come on the show. In the second half of the show, in our legal aid segment, we're going to be continuing this conversation relative to blacklisting. Very interested in this because, I mean, it's falling in line with this whole global conversation, you know, related to, you know, what nations are deciding to do. I mean, you look at Brexit, you look at what's been happening in the United States, you know, there's this feeling, and in fact, even the United States, several of Puerto Rico and others were part of the blacklist. And, you know, it's like, so why they targeted us like this, man? I mean, it's like, why us?
And I'm telling you, as you talk through Merritt, because he and I had the first conversation about this about a month ago, he really just brings it home. And so I'm looking forward to hearing your conversation on that. Again, Atlantic Medical is here, going to be talking about their Fun Run Walk. So
Yes,
that's exciting. Yeah,
looking
next
forward
month.
to it. Yeah.
And the Dental Association here talking about World Oral Health Day. So we've got all of that to come for you and more. First, we're going to take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Star. Good morning, Bahamas. Your second look at weather at sunrise. We do have that frontal boundary across the Berry Islands, South Abaco, North Andros, drifting slowly towards the southeast. But off that frontal boundary, we do expect an area of low pressure to form late tonight, early tomorrow in the area of the Key West, North Andros area, move across the northwest Bahamas, causing increasing cloudiness, showers, and thunderstorm activity. Also some windy conditions over the next 48 hours. In your marine forecast, Wednesday starting off southwest to west at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Well, those winds shifting northwest to north at 15 knots, sea 3 to 5 feet over the northwest Bahamas, variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Then on Tuesday, those winds become northeastern at 15 to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet over the northwest Bahamas, continuing variable at 10 knots or less, seas less than 3 feet over the central Bahamas, and east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas 3 or 4 feet over the southeastern islands. So the northwest Bahamas, we do have an advisory posted on Tuesday. Wednesday, those winds continue northeast at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the northwest Bahamas, southerly at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet over the central and southeastern islands. Your tides, you can expect a high tide 11:37 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 5:35 this evening. High gain tonight at 11:48. Sunset at 7:18 this evening. Rises on 7:15. UV index 7. Your water temperature 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And your moon phase, we're now moving towards a full moon. External look, cloudy skies, windy conditions, showers and thunderstorms becoming heavier times, isolated thunderstorms through Wednesday afternoon. And then by Thursday, we expect a mix of sun and cloud. But the weekend looks pretty good with lots of sunshine. Temperature daytime will be in the upper 70s and the 60s at nighttime. By the weekend, those temperatures go back into the lower east at daytime, upper 60s at nighttime. That's what's a wrap on your final look at the weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Of course, our next guest is flying solo this morning. We're not going to give him too much of a hard time. But in this edition of Legal Aid, brought to you by Providence Law, we have the managing partner, Merit Store. Welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to continue this conversation related to blacklisting. We started it earlier with LaToya Cement-Tinker, who you may know. Right. But one of the things that has been really the theme over the last several years, actually, includes the Bahamas being placed on this list of high-risk jurisdictions. Right. Of course, we're off the list for now. Right. But we also mentioned, too, that the United States also had some territories on the list. Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Guam, and the American Samoa. Right. What has been the U.S.'s response? We're interested in this. I mean, we're the little fish in the big pond, but what has the big fish been saying?
Well, interestingly, when I was here last month, we were talking about an initial blacklist that had to do with our efforts in anti-money laundering and whether our procedures and laws were up to standard. Right. The European Commission had blacklisted us and a number of those American territories that you mentioned. The American response was immediately their Treasury Department issued a statement, and we kind of talked about this last time, whereby they said they weren't consulted, they weren't given an opportunity to really respond, and that they were already complying with the FATF standards. But most importantly, they told their jurisdictions not to pay any attention to this particular blacklist, okay? Only from a position of strength and power could you say, don't worry about that blacklist, just ignore that, okay?
Yeah, well, we're not in that position.
No,
I mean, but obviously we've reacted and we've made some changes. But again, also in talking about that, several weeks ago, the European Union also weighed in on the decision of the European Commission.
Right.
What was their statement relative to the blacklist?
Well, this was almost unheard of. Bear in mind that the European Commission is the executive branch of the European Union.
Correct.
The European Union are the member countries that make up the Union. The European Union then, and unanimously, the member countries say that they disregard the decision of the European Commission and that they did not follow due process. But what press reports have said is that the United States and Saudi Arabia, who were also blacklisted by the European Commission, brought a lot of pressure to bear on the European Union. And so they kind of reversed, in kind of unprecedented reverse course, okay? Now, we don't have that kind of clout to force them to reverse course, but they amazingly determined that they would reverse course, and so that initial blacklist on money laundering fell away.
Right, but of course, over the past week or so, the European Union, in a separate initiative, issued a blacklist against non-cooperatives in the fight against tax evasion.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Who's named on that latest blacklist?
So yeah, so this is again, this is the challenge for the Bahamas. There are multiple initiatives going on by multiple different agencies. Okay, so this one is in the fight against non-cooperation, as you said, in tax matters.
Yeah.
So included on this list were a number of Caribbean territories. Bermuda, the one stands out because Bermuda is one of our competitors in the offshore financial sector. But there was also Barbados, Trinidad, Aruba, the U.S. Virgin Islands, again some U.S. territories, okay? So a blacklist was published late last week, and the Bahamas was not included in this list, and I guess we were taking a little bit of a victory lap in that regard.
Right. But I mean, you know, it almost, I'm pretty sure it's not a random type of listing. There's some criteria, there's a checklist, there are things that they probably think that countries should be doing. So how did we avoid this particular list?
Yeah, it wasn't random. You're quite right. I mean, the Bahamas in December passed about 5 or 6 pieces of financial related legislation.
Okay.
And this legislation was designed to bring us in line with the concerns that the EU had expressed about non-cooperation in matters regarding tax and tax competition. So we had to pass this legislation, and now we have gotten, I only call it a reprieve, to be honest with you. We have to ensure that the legislation is properly implemented, okay, and then we have to consider, well, what's next? Because as we have said numerous times, the goalposts sometimes seem to move, and so it's not a static situation. But yes, there were definitive things that we had to do that allowed us to avoid this most recent blacklist, and it involved passing a slew of legislation.
So would you say then, you know, despite the victory lap, the race is obviously still going. Are we in the clear? I mean, are we in the clear from the EU, from the OECD, from the FTAF?
In the clear may not be the right terminology. I think maybe we've bought some time. I think really what is required is we really have to be engaging these agencies on an ongoing basis. We need to make sure, and I think we are beginning to do more of this, we need to make sure that we have representation in Europe, in the seat of power, I think is mostly in Brussels. So we need to be engaging continuously, and we need to be trying to forecast and see, well, what's the next thing coming on the horizon? Because it's an ongoing battle, and I think the issue for us, and as I said last time, we still have to find a way to combat this, particularly if really what's underneath all of this is it's really competition for business. Okay, because I mean, we have a right to compete legitimately for business, but if these organizations are using the umbrella of these various blacklists to try and garner business that we have legitimately gotten, and that's a problem.
That is a problem.
And so we have to find a way to be able to deal with it. And again, the big countries that have clout,
they can just say, forget it,
and
but we can't.
And we're not in a position to do that. So it's an ongoing matter, and I think we just have to be very vigilant.
All right, so we're in the game, so we got to play it.
Absolutely.
All right, listen, we've been with Merritt Storr, the Managing Partner of Providence Law, in this edition of Legal Aid.
Thank you. Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Great.
Over to you, Star.
Thank you so much, Phil. Well, I've got breaking news for you. Mark your calendars. April 13th is the day, the Atlantic Medical Insurance's 21st annual Fun Run Walk, encouraging a fit, healthy Bahamian community. Here to give us the details, we're very happy to welcome Cruz Adderley. He's the Business Development Manager at AMI, and Lisa Bellot. She's the Marketing Coordinator. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. Whenever I see you two, I know what time it is. It is Fun Run Walk time. 21 years.
21 years.
That's awesome.
Yes. So full adult now.
Full adult now, right? Yes, good. It has rights.
Yeah, it has rights.
But 21 years, and you're doing it both in Grand Bahama and New Providence again this year, right?
Yes, the same day we will be doing it. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody on April 13th.
Everybody April 13th.
Okay.
Yes.
What are we looking forward to seeing happen this year? Is the route the same? Talk to me about logistics in terms of what people will actually be doing in the Fun Run Walk.
Okay, well, again, just like you mentioned, it is Saturday, April 13th, simultaneously in Nassau and Freeport, 6:30, the walk. It is the same walk, the same route in Nassau, starting there from Montague, coming down Shirley Street until you get to St. Matthew's Church.
Okay.
And again, there's a competitive route, and then there's a fun route. So for those doing the fun route, they just turn right back around at the bridge and go straight down to Montague. For those doing the competitive route, they go over the bridge to PI, down to Ocean Club, turn around, then back over the old bridge down to Montague.
Right.
And so that's the route.
And that's for walkers and runners.
Okay.
Freeport also has a run as well this time. So that makes it better for people that, that want to be more competitive. They're able to run and walk. So we have the walk and the run, both in Freeport and Nassau.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And when we get back down to Montague, it's going to be a little celebration,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Y'all ain't going to send me home after I've already worked out so hard that morning.
Of course not. Everybody always comes to the walk, not only for the walk and for the wellness part of it and the health part of it, but they like to see what we have going on afterwards. And again, we're going to have a wellness fair, whereas we have a lot of vendors coming out to show support, give out samples. And then, of course, we have a grand prize this year.
Yes, we have a grand prize. So everybody that participates, they will be entered to win a cruise for two.
Wait, everybody?
Everybody that participates.
So I don't have to win. I could just come.
Right, your name, right, exactly. So, and that would also include the airfare.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's exciting this year. Everybody needs a little getaway. Right. So yeah, it'll be a cruise for two, and we're doing that in Nassau. Freeport is actually having a little competition where they're encouraging schools to get all of their teams to come in and participate, and then they will give the school a prize. Okay. So we try to encourage younger people, because we want them to start to learn healthier lifestyles, because with childhood diabetes and everything that's going on nowadays, we have to encourage our children from young to start to do things. And so many kids just want to sit there in front of their games, playing games and not really being active. So, one of the things Atlanta Medical does is we try to encourage healthy lifestyles from the children straight up to the parents, because then you don't have so many issues later on, and we could combat some of this diabetes that's going around. Also helping with cancer. So, and those are our two charities. We give all proceeds. No money is kept. Every cent, every dollar you put in there goes back to those charities.
Okay. And that is the Diabetes Association.
And the Cancer Society of the Bahamas. We've actually, Atlanta Medical has actually given over $400,000
wow.
over the years of having these walks. So, we're proud of that, and we continue to do that, and we continue to give back, because those are the two charities basically where we see the most ailments in the Bahamas.
Right.
You know someone that has cancer, someone that's diabetic. Right. If you don't know them, it's a family member or a friend.
Yeah. So Cruz, how can we get registered, right? I mean, I look forward to it, because even just showing up for the walk in my goodie bag, I still have my water bottle from 3 years ago. I put my fruits in there. I'm jamming. And so even in the goodie bag, there's a sense of excitement about what's to come. How do we get registered?
Well, you can get registered starting today.
Okay.
Actually, starting from last week, we got some people registered. But you could come right up there to Atlantic Medical, and you can fill out the registration form.
Okay. What's the cost associated with the walk?
$25 for adults and $15 for children. But of course, we're probably one of the walks that gives you a full bag of goodies.
Right.
So we have some surprises this year. For our goodie bags.
We won't disappoint.
We won't disappoint. Definitely won't disappoint. And more than that, you're giving back. You're giving back to the charities, because none of the money is kept. Every dollar is given back to these charities.
Excellent. Now, you know, some Bahamians are last minute.
Mm.
Will there be on the day of registration?
No.
Okay.
We don't encourage that. That morning gets, you know, this walk can be very, we always get a lot of people out there.
Right.
And on the morning of, you know, we hate to encourage that. So we always want everybody to make sure, up until the day before, you can register for the event. Come into any of the Atlantic medical offices in Freeport or Nassau and register for the event beforehand.
Yeah, and there's enough time to do that.
There is.
There's
Let you
to
know
do
in
that
advance. It's a
in
month
advance,
out.
yeah.
You've got time. April 13th is the walk. Starts at 6:30 a.m. at Monarchy. When do they start in Grand Bahama?
And same thing.
Okay.
There's 6:30 as
6:30
well.
a.m.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And yep. So we'll be ready to go.
Ready to go. So go on into your offices, whether you're in Nassau or in Grand Bahama. Get into Atlantic Medical. Get registered for that fun run walk. If you're in Nassau, they're giving away that big cruise prize. And if you're in Grand Bahama, get your school involved because you'll get some awesome prizes for the classroom as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hi, and welcome to Kidney Health. Today I will discuss hypertension and the kidneys. High blood pressure, also known as hypertension, is one of the leading causes of kidney disease and failure. More than 25% of new cases of kidney failure each year are caused by hypertension. So, what causes high blood pressure? Your blood pressure measures how hard your heart has to work to pump blood through your body. If your blood pressure is high, it means that your heart is working too hard to pump blood. For most people with essential or primary hypertension, there is no clear reason why the blood pressure is high. Some people have high blood pressure caused by an underlying condition. This type is called secondary hypertension and tends to appear suddenly and cause even higher blood pressures. Various conditions and medications that can lead to secondary hypertension include kidney or thyroid problems, adrenal gland tumors, certain over-the-counter medications such as decongestants and pain relievers, alcohol use, or a sleep disorder called obstructive sleep apnea. Most people with hypertension have no signs or symptoms, even if blood pressure readings are dangerously high. So whenever your blood pressure is checked, make sure you pay attention to the results.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. World Oral Health Day is just 2 days away, March 20th, every single year. We're pleased to be joined by representatives of the Bahamas Dental Association. We have the president, Dr. Emmanuel Francis, in his beautiful corduroy jacket and matching gold attire. And we have Dr. Ricardo Crawford, representative of the FDI.
Correct.
But also part of the Dental Association.
Correct.
All right. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So let's speak a little bit about the day upcoming. We'll start with that. Tell us what exactly is World Oral Health Day and what is it seeking to achieve?
Okay, World Oral Health Day is March 20th every year, and it's celebrated. It's put on by the FDI, which is the International Dental Federation.
Okay.
Is headquartered in Europe. Now, the intent of World Oral Health Day is to sensitize the public to the importance of oral health and to engage the local dental associations, the national dental associations, and interested stakeholders in promoting oral health.
Okay.
That's basically what it's about.
So on Wednesday of this week, or 20th, does the Dental Association have any particular activities?
Well, it's kind of difficult to gauge from year to year when the 20th, what day it would fall on.
Right.
But what we have traditionally done is ask the public to be sure that come March the 20th, that you have a toothbrush awakening.
Okay.
Whenever you awaken
Yeah.
in this nation,
Right.
be sure that the first thing you do is to brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Unless otherwise some other necessities.
So this is
Yes.
more. This is more about continuing the awareness, like you say,
Exactly.
of world health.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
great.
it is. Yes.
So there's an international body called the
It's called the FDI.
FDI.
Which is the World Dental Federation.
Mhm. Yeah.
And what it is, it's a representation of all national dental associations throughout the world.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So is it like a governing body or?
Well, what the FDI does,
Yeah.
it develops, one, awareness,
Mhm.
two, policies, and it also helps in promoting oral health throughout the world.
Mhm.
And so it's made up of over 1 million dentists and associations.
When we talk about oral health, I mean, people generally obviously think about the teeth, but it's much more than that. I mean, the importance
It's a whole lot more.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was just telling Dr. Crawford as we were watching the earlier segments that we're looking at the people who are speaking, but I was looking at the background.
Yeah.
And I made the joke with Dr. Crawford. I said to him, I said, they think we're looking at the teeth, but we got to look at the background.
The background.
So the teeth are set, and they're not out in space.
Right.
They're not in a vacuum, but they're set in the oral cavity. And so, as a result, we would see these things. And certainly when we do the dental or oral medicine, but technically, we are dental surgeons, and we practice oral medicine. And so you had to look at all of the structures in the mouth because so many things can happen, even from, birth.
Right.
A child can be born with birth defects, cleft palate, cleft lip, some are born with no teeth.
Right.
And then there are diseases that impact the soft tissue, the tongue, the tonsils, and so on and so forth. And so we have to be aware of these things.
Do you find locally that we have considerable challenges in the oral health area?
As it relates to oral health, I think that, generally speaking, the population has a very poor IQ as it relates to dentistry in terms of what we do. What the FDI has initiated this year and last year, because of a 2-year theme, the theme is Say Ah, which crosses not just dental lines, but crosses medical lines.
Yes.
And what it is, it's something which everyone is familiar with. So when you go to the dentist and you open your mouth and you say ah, that way you can see everything that's going on. And what people don't realize is that a lot of physiological diseases begin in the mouth. And so a lot of times dentists will pick up things orally that may not have manifested physically as yet.
Okay, all right. And of course, President of the Dental Association, is there any particular mandate that you guys are focusing on over the next year or so?
Yes, we have to become more engaged first of all, in survey to research to see what the incidence or the epidemiological data is on dental disease or oral disease, because we're seeing other diseases other than dental per se. And then we want to strategize as to how we can increase public awareness of the importance of the dental IQ, as Dr. Crawford had just mentioned, is unacceptable. And it's primarily our fault because our mandate is such that we increase patient education. And it's a daunting challenge because then we have so many sociological parameters that affect us in terms of the perception that people have about dentistry. If it is, for example, if I take my tooth out, can I wash my hair? These kinds of things, you know what I mean? Or the baby teeth, well, they're not important, so you don't have to do anything with them. They can be lost anyway. So we have to get rid of all of these things and get people to understand that this oral health starts concern is a priority. And we don't want it to develop into a national crisis, and I think it is directly related to the incidences we have of systemic diseases as well.
So again, is there an event coming up this coming?
Yeah, Saturday.
Okay, where's it
This coming Saturday we're having an annual, we call it World Oral Health Day Mall Extravaganza. Okay. We'll be at the Marathon Mall from 12 noon to 5 p.m. We'll be doing oral screenings, sponsored by Colgate, Core Pharmaceuticals and HGM. And then we're going to be doing not only the screenings, but we have giveaways for the kids, primarily, and healthy snacks. So.
All right, so this coming Saturday, the Mall at Marathon, 12 to 5.
Yes.
You'll be saying, along with Crawford and Dr. Francis. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. Gents, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right into the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Since 1967, Focal has been a vital part of the Grand Bahama community, providing high-quality products and great customer service. Today, we continue to work hard and remain focused on fueling growth for people throughout the Bahamas.
How are we making Rev work wonders for you? We are doing it together. You told us what you want, and we've heard you. Want faster broadband? How about speeds up to 1 gigabit per second? Want shorter house calls? 2 hours max. We promise. Want to take your entertainment anywhere? Well, your Rev Go Play app is here. Rev, we've heard you. You speak, we listen. Rev, you and us together.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. We hope that you enjoyed the show, and we want you to go out and have a wonderful week.
Yeah, have a wonderful week. Listen, just enjoy life. Stay positive.
Definitely. We'll see you back here on Friday.
Friday it is.